Welcome back to the NITE Economics YouTube channel, and tonight we're going to be looking at some stock picks. If you're liking the content, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and without any further ado, let's get into tonight's video. So today we're going to be looking, tonight, we're going to be looking at Netflix. So this is one that's recently come on my radar. I forget how, maybe somebody told me about it, no. Anyways, I don't remember how. Actually, I remember how. I have my list of stocks here on the right hand side, and I then looked at it for a very long time, and I had noticed that it's been in a massive downtrend pretty much since June of 2025. So pretty much since last year, it's been in a downtrend, and it's down about 50% from that high. And it's in a downtrend because you have this high, you have this low, then you have this lower high, and now it's working, it's building a lower low. The question is, how low will it go? I think it's going to go lower, and here is why. So if we look here closely, let me zoom in a little bit here. We're about to have a bearish cross to the downside, very likely on the next open, and this is on the weekly candle, weekly look. So you could see the red exponential moving average is going to move below the 200 simple moving average, and it's likely going to happen in the next open. This very likely is going to happen because if you could see here in the candle before current candle, the 5 exponential moving average was a 74.29. Then in our current candle, it moved down to 72.04. So if it keeps moving at it keeps dropping at about 2 points, let's just say, or $2. So we should expect it to be somewhere around, I guess, 68, at which point, and it depends, right? Like, I mean, the simple moving average will probably keep moving up as well. So if not this next open, in the next open, considering that the price of Netflix stays below the 200 simple moving average, where we're likely going to have this cross to the downside, and that's only going to signal that more downward price action is coming in the months to come. So I don't think it's out of the woods yet, but this will present for a fantastic buying opportunity once a bottom is set, a macro low is set, and then I think will be a fantastic buying opportunity. And I'll get to that why. Here's another reason. If you look at the 2-week time frame, this cross, we're having another bearish cross to the downside. So a silver cross to the downside. We have the yellow 21 exponential moving average going to very likely create this cross on the next open, and that will be in the next almost 2 weeks from now, because this new candle just opened. So in 2 weeks from now, we should have this cross confirmed, unless it rallies significantly to the upside from now till then. So the 21 exponential moving average is about to move below the 55 exponential moving average, and that will happen very likely in the next candle, in the next open for the 2 week time frame. So again, that spills some, or that's painting a story of some more downward price action to come. And if we look at the 2 week, that's only happened 2 times. And the last time it happened was here in 2022, March of 2022, I guess early April, March of 2022, and we had a significant drop to the downside from that cross, from the open of that candle to the low, and we had a 53% move to the downside. And then the only other time before that was all the way back here in 2011. So let's see, so that was the same. So yeah, so right here on this cross, we had the silver cross to the downside here, which was January 30th of 2012. And from that open, approximately, I'm not going to get these exact, we had a drop of 57% to the downside. So we had 57 and 50% to the downside. Is that correct? Let me double check that one more time. I like to get it from the open to the wick. Yeah, so let's just round. Let's call it 50%. Is 52, 53. So 52, 53%, and then 57% to the downside. So let's just say the next open is somewhere where we're currently at in price action. Let's call it another 50% move to the downside, right? Because I don't know if it's gonna go all the way down to 57, but anything is possible. But anyways, we're looking at somewhere between, let's just call it 50, so around 33 bucks, and 57 would be 28 bucks. So somewhere between 27 and 28 bucks. I'll make a box in that region. Where are you? Patterns, geometric shapes here. Let's do a rectangle. So what I say, 47, I think it was, to 50 to 38. Let's call it in there. See how we add some text to this bad boy. So 47 to 38 bucks low. So I'm expecting a low somewhere in that region. If we do a Fibonacci retracement, yeah, so all the way down at this spot 786 level, somewhere in that region, somewhere in that pocket, we could expect a low. And yeah, but I don't really follow the Fibonacci so much, but I just kind of look at moving averages, and it's definitely going to have it's in a collision course with the 200 simple moving average at this point. I think that's very, very likely to happen, especially if this silver cross happens to the downside, which is very likely unless there's some heroic rally in the next 2 weeks happens, which I don't think is going to happen, but especially because we have this lower high over here previously, so I think that's very unlikely to happen. But you know, you never know. I would hold off from buying this until that low is created. If we look at the monthly, if we go back to the weekly, is there? Yeah, it's already broken below the 200 simple moving average on the weekly, so that's not a good sign. It's on its way down to the 377 exponential moving average, and yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, in the last time this cross happened to the downside, it got all the way well below the 377 exponential moving average. So I wouldn't be surprised if it gets even below there. You know, I wouldn't be too surprised, but let's play this one at a time, or one step at a time, I suppose. Yeah, so every time this cross has happened, it's only been twice, so it's not a lot of history, but it has broken down below the 200 simple moving average. So yeah, so I mean, I think this 47 number is very possible in the next couple of months. And from when that cross happened, so it happened approximately here, to get to the low, it took 85 days, more or less. Well, actually, no, it was a lot faster than that. It took 28 days for the last time it happened, and the time before that, it was a lot longer than that. It took from there, so let's take that measurement from there to the low. Let's call this one the low, but it bounced off the low a few times. So 182 days. So yeah, I mean, I think this is likely going to happen in Q4 of this year. So let's take a look at what that looks like from the next open. Oh, let's do it from now, actually. So what was the first one? It was like 42 days or something. That would be pretty much the end of August, and 180 something days would pretty much be at the end of this year, early next year. I think it's likely going to happen somewhere in the middle, because the last two iterations of this cross to the downside are so drastic in terms of time frame. Like one is like, you know, only like a couple of weeks, and then the other one was like several months. So I would say it's very likely this is going to happen sometime in Q4 of this year, because Q4s of midterm years in the United States tend to have some, you know, some bearish price or a drop in the stock market, essentially. So this will likely continue to drag this one further down. And if we look at the RSI continues to expand. The BBWP continues to expand to the upside. So we should probably expect some more downward price action, or some more volatility to happen in here in Netflix. Although, again, this is a fantastic buying opportunity if you're patient, you're willing to monitor this stock into the long term. I'll definitely be monitoring this one, so I'll keep you guys posted on this one. But I think this one's a very fantastic value area, especially if it gets down to these numbers here. So like the mid 40s to like high 30 would be a fantastic area to buy this stock, because, you know, when we got lows in the previous two iterations of this stock, you know, we saw returns until this macro high over here of 725%. So if you're willing to hold this for several years, first of all, if you're willing to be patient and wait for this low to happen, or for this low to materialize, and then you're patient enough to hold it for several years, you're going to be in the money. You're going to be making a lot of money, and you don't need to catch the whole move, but if you catch some of the move, you're going to be good. And then the first iteration of this was all the way back here, and without counting, without really measuring it all the way to this high, but let's measure it until you got a serious pullback, which is reconnecting with the 21 exponential moving average over here in April of 2014. So if you got it from the low, somewhere in the lows to the high, is another 767% move to the upside. So it's a fantastic return if you're able to be patient and hold it. Be patient and wait until the lows materialize themselves, a macro low materializes itself, buy it, and then hold it for 2-3 years. You're gonna be happy, even if you could hold out even through some of these these slight down trends here. But overall, they were just continuations, right? Continuations before it bounced up to higher levels. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic buy, something I'm going to be keeping an eye on for myself to possibly buy near the end of this year, particularly Q4. But even buying it now would not be bad. I mean, it's already down 50% from the highs, and if it gets down to like this mid region, it'd be like a 67% drop, right? In the previous times this cross has happened to the downside, if we measure it from the peak of the rally to the low, right, it's a 76% move to the downside, and then this previous iteration here, an 82% move to the downside. So if it's a little bit less this time, it likely will be. I don't know likely, but let's just assume it will be. This is an assumption right now. If we get to the mid 70s, 66%. Yeah, so I mean, I think we could expect numbers down there based off of the history of this particular stock, based off what is done in the 2 previous iterations, particularly when this silver cross to the downside has happened on the 2-week time frame. We could expect it to at a minimum reconnect with the 200 simple moving average, and very likely it'll get down to the 377 exponential moving average, especially the way things are looking, especially the way the BBWP continues to expand, especially how the RSI is getting lower and lower, and it's not looking like it's creating a low just yet. And especially if we look at previous iterations of these macro lows here, you can see the RSI could get real low down to, yeah, like that 32 percentile level, right? So right now sitting at 39.42 the RSI, but it looks like it wants to go lower, so only time will tell. Again, if you're liking this content, well, I'm done with this with this video, so it's a suddenly abrupt what I'm talking about. Anyways, if you're liking the content, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.